So this is day one of the location scout for Hot Casa. Yes, and this, as I said, this is Kelso Dunes. So we're hoping to shoot here, and it's a long hike. It's gonna be fun. It's pretty sandy too. It's kind of like being at the beach, but no water.
The beach never ended.
Okay, so the idea for the project kind of originated when we first moved to LA. I had a replica of a gunblade hanging on a mantle in my apartment. And I don't remember if it was Russell or Jimmy or which one. They came in for the first time, they saw it, and they said, holy shit, we need to make a movie about that. The one idea we always wanted to incorporate into that film, we're not sure where, was a small child/midget in a gas mask and a hood. And the character would never speak audibly, like no one could understand what they said, almost like Kenny from South Park, except with a gas mask. And then eventually it kind of went away, but we still liked the concept of the midget in the gas mask, until finally one day I just decided that I was going to write a script. It's the far future, where the world is in ruins and, you know, just desolate. It's so far in the future that they don't really remember what civilization was like beforehand. This is more about what the children of their children would be living. So I wanted it to be entertaining, and at the same time kind of comical, almost in a way that, like, you know, when the end comes, the people that will finally emerge from the ashes probably aren't that much higher in the gene pool than anybody else. As with a lot of the projects I've done, a lot of inspirations kind of come from comic book, kind of graphic novel kind of feel. I ended up really liking the idea that in this world, anytime someone talks about history, especially things we don't have the capability or budget to show, we would cut to a comic book panel showing what had occurred. And eventually we really liked it so much that we actually commissioned Ryan McAllister to do several panels of comics for us. So our main characters, we have Lucy, who we describe as the tactical cowgirl, and she thrives very well in this wasteland, so she's pretty badass. Morgan, when she told us she was coming for the audition, so she asked if she could bring her own prop gun. I brought my own to the scene, and we were just very impressed because the first thing she did for about 5 minutes was inspect the gun and figure out how it worked. She ultimately just won us over just because she did such a damn good job. And honestly, to this point, I would never want anyone else to play the role. Morgan was fantastic. And then she has her partner, Chuckles. And Chuckles is very much more of the comic relief, but he's notorious for getting her into trouble. We actually ended up having 2 people play him. We found one through our DP, Matt. We had mentioned on the way back from the previous shoot that we weren't going to have Zach and we needed another Chuckles.
How you doing? You look awesome.
Thanks, dude.
Well,
Damn.
I'd like to thank you a lot for doing this.
Yeah. Please tell us what you're wearing. Who is that by?
I killed a polar bear for this.
Oh.
And Juan ended up being awesome. He was so nice, he was so patient, honestly, he was perfect. And then we have a third character, and this is Burke. And Burke is an old associate of Lucy's. He's a mercenary, bounty hunter, whatever you want to call it. He's a soldier of fortune. He roams the desert riding around on his bike, just pretty much doing whatever he can for money. We had 2 days. The first day was March 12th, and we drove out to Palmdale, California. Russell actually had shot something earlier there at this old abandoned house. That's actually the casa, if you will. And this house kind of looked like it had been gutted by fire years ago. The desert had done more damage to it, and then every single kid in Palmdale had journeyed out there with a shotgun and shot it to crap. Drew, one of the guys helping us out, wandered around with a glass jar he had found and filled it full of empty shotgun shells. That day we had Zach Smallins playing Chuckles. He was 11. So there were some challenges. It didn't go really as smoothly as we wanted, but it was the first day of shooting, that's fine. Day 2, the plan originally was to leave at 4 a.m. to head to the Kelso Dunes out near Baker, California. Then I had an idea that I proposed to Russell. Why not leave Friday night, sleep over in Baker, then be well rested, up in the morning, get some breakfast or whatever, and go out to the Kelso Dunes that morning. It was like a 4-hour drive. No big deal. And I am 15 miles out of Baker. I needed to get there by 1 a.m. before the motel closed. This is when we hit traffic. An hour and a half's worth of non-moving traffic. Turns out a tractor trailer had exploded into tiny little burning bits. We ended up not being able to stay at the Wills Fargo motel like we wanted to, and had to stay at the only 24-hour motel in Baker, the Bun Boy Motel. We drove out to the Kelso Dunes. We then proceeded to break into 2 units. Unit 1 went up into the dunes to get some shots, while Unit 2 stayed below to get some other shots. Shooting in the desert is a sandy job, and hiking through sand is rather tiring. That weekend, Juan Lopez was being Chuckles. Drew packed 8 Guinnesses and proceeded to drink 6 of them on the hike up the sand dune.
Drew is thirsty. Beer.
I'm like cold beer or hot desert.
Exactly, it's all frothy.
I probably would have vomited, but...
I think I'm gonna have an aneurysm here pretty soon.
The whole project's been a lot of fun. I mean, it's been trying, it's been tiring, there's been a lot of stress, but when all is said and done, it's been really rewarding and just so much fun to do. I just can't wait to see it done and see what happens in the future.